Well, what we're doing today, we're going to make a little video on bird processing. We took our older lab out to a game preserve today. It'll probably be our last hunt, and we wanted to make sure she had a good time. And we ended up getting 3 birds, and we're going to make a bird dressing video here. And one of these things is, on this one here, like these pheasants, you can pick them, but you normally have to scald them first so you can get the feathers out easier. But what I do is I like to take and brown them, put them in a pan, let them slow cook with a can of mushroom soup, and they get very tender. One popular way to do birds is they take just the breast out, and this is Toby here if nobody knows. But that I like to keep more than the breast. What you do is you grab right in you got the bird like this. So what you do is you just go ahead and get into the breast area right here. Now you can use a knife, or you can pull it out with your hand. I get a little knife cut going first. Just go ahead and peel the skin back like so. And see, you got the breast there. And just go ahead and peel that right out of there, just like so. I'm gonna do it so you have a lot of visual. You can do this a lot quicker if you want, but we also want to keep the thighs, and you may want to keep the legs. So you just pull that skin down like so. You just pull those, just bend those thighs back like so to break them loose in the bone here, and then you can take your knife. You can do this out in the field too. Just take your knife, pull that loose, just go just like so. You got a thigh and you got the leg right there. Let me get this so I can see this just a little bit. Oh, Toby, he likes to be on camera. But anyway, here's the thigh and here's the leg. What we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and just cut this loose right here. If you don't have a scissors with you in the field, just cut them loose at the joint. That legs snap pretty easy. But anyway, here's the thigh and the leg. You can put those together, or you feel where that joint is right here. You can take and separate those out. Cut right through that joint. You can see the white part of it right there. Look out, Toby, I don't cut your nose off. There you go. Then you got the thigh. And then what you do is you get some hot oil in a pan. Olive oil or vegetable oil or whatever. Or even butter. Dredge these in flour. I soak everything I do in salt water overnight. Just a little bit of salt in there. Dredge that in flour. And then brown that in a pan. In your oil. And then when it's done browning, put it in another pan or set it aside. When you get all your pieces browned, go ahead, dump your oil out of your pan. Put these back in the pan, cover them with a can of mushroom soup, and makes a very good meal. Just let it cook for a couple hours. They should be tender. But we'll get back to doing this. You leave those alone, Toby. We'll go ahead and get this other leg out of here. Just pull that right back like so. The pheasant skin is pretty. We're going to go ahead and cut that off right down here. Pheasant skin is pretty, not very tough. And now you see I got that leg broke loose. Go ahead and pop that joint out right there. And then you just go ahead and cut down through there. I'll turn this around so you can see it right like so. Then what the thing is, then that way you aren't wasting a lot of meat on a bird. You hate to just take the breast when you got all this meat right here to use also. And also the thighs the legs are a little bit bony. They got long bones in them. But they're still good to eat, and the thighs are very good. I'm feeling for that bone right in here. You hit that bone just right, you can go right through there. Just feel where it's bending. Get 2 more good pieces of meat. Now, what we're going to do, on a pheasant, you don't have a lot of meat on the wings. You pull your skin down right here and you can see your joint. Right here is your joint. You either cut it loose with a knife, or you can take your scissors and just cut it loose. Right where the wing butt goes, right in the breast. And you can feel that. Just go ahead and cut it loose, like so. You do that on both sides. We'll do a couple of these birds so you can actually see where the muscle goes in there. You feel that and it connects right in through here. You take your knife, you can actually cut it loose. You see this here? Right in here. Now you can save these little wings if you want. Make hot wings out of them, do whatever you want to do. They're a little tougher, but if you want to do it, you can. You can cut those loose in the field, or you can just cut them off with the scissors, like so. Anyway, we got this breast laid out right here. What you do is you can just take and grab this like so, and you can just give it a good pull. Just pull it just like so. And what that does is that separates everything from the carcass right here. Right down to where your joint is. Where the wing was. Just cut that loose. You can feel it here. Just cut it loose. And you end up with a nice piece of meat. Just like that. We'll set that aside, that carcass aside. Now if you want, you can take and split this breast in half, fillet it out, do whatever with it. What I do is you take a look at this, see this bone here? You can go ahead and go right down each side of that bone, like so. Now you can go right on down, leave the bone in or leave the bone out. Just go ahead, just like you would a fish. Just fillet that right off of there. That's if that, you end up with a nice piece of meat, just like so. Do the same thing on this side. Stay right against the breastbone. Just like so. Just fillet it on out. It's easier to do when you don't have to work with a camera angle. It really is. Anyway, you don't leave a lot of meat on there. And you get these nice pieces of meat. Like I say, dredge them in flour, seasoned flour, whatever you want. Cornmeal, doesn't matter. Cracker crumbs, dredge them in there. Brown them in a skillet. Then slow cook them with cream of mushroom soup, and you got some of the best eating you'll ever have. We got a melanistic phase one here, a black pheasant too. They have a lot of those. And we're going to do this one just like we would any other one. I'll show you how some people, if you're in the field, just take and cut them right under the breastbone here, so you can get your finger under them, just like so. Pull that skin off, just like so. See how that is? We got that. Got the breast showing right there. Now if you want, just go ahead and grab this breast right underneath there, right under that bone, and just pull it straight back, just like so. And you can just take your scissors, cut down here where your wing butts are, both sides. You got to get your feathers out where you can do it. You can usually yank these out right in the field, but like I say, you don't want to waste a lot of meat. And I think people that just breast out birds, if that's what they want to do, that's fine, but I prefer to save as much of the meat as I can, especially on the thighs. Thighs are so good to eat. Anyway, there's that breast. Now what I'm going to do on this breast here is that you just go ahead and see how it's laying there. Go ahead and put your knife down along the keel bone and just press it down solid. And you can split that wide open, or take your scissors and just go right down along that breastbone, like so. That's if you don't want to take the hassle of doing the filleting out. Just like a chicken breast. You end up with a nice piece of meat. The only thing is, this has bone in it. There's several different ways to do it. I'm not right on all of them. But anyway, you got this one here has the bone in it. Kind of like when you go to the store and get a chicken breast with bone in it. Or you can get them without the bone. Okay, now we got the legs to deal with here. We got this rest of the carcass here. Just go ahead and see how we got this leg coming out here. Pull that leg back just like so. Cut it off. And see how that kind of lays there? You can take your scissors or your knife and just cut that loose. You end up with a leg and a thigh just like that. We'll flip him around, do the other side. Just like so. Got that skinned out. Got the legs off. We're going to do this thigh. Just like that. Thigh and leg. Thigh and leg. That was a bird right there, Don. A lot of times people say, well, the reason they breast them out is to save time and meat. Well, how long does it take to do a pheasant? A minute, maybe 2, if you're really going after it. Now up at this game preserve, you could shoot hens too, because they stock the hens. So what we did is to recap on our pheasants. We want to get the skin off of it first, remember? So we're just going to make a small slit here. Easier to do with the knife. Peel the skin back. Just like so. See that? Peel the skin back. Get your breast exposed. Now if you want, you can take and fillet this off right off the bone here while it's sitting here, like so. You got the tailgate of your truck or whatever to work on, that's great. Or a board or anything. You take that off right there. Nice breast. Whatever way is more convenient for you. If you aren't in a big hurry, what the heck, just go ahead and save the meat. I mean, I encourage you to save as much meat as you can, especially those thighs. I see people throwing away the thighs on ducks and geese. All they do is brush them out. And look at that meat come off of there. That's just, the thigh is perfectly clean. Very little meat left. Or, I mean the breast. We got this leg we're pushing inside out, just like so. We're going to go ahead and break him loose. Just pull that back. We got the bone popped out right there. You can either use your knife or scissors, like I said before. And there's just so much good meat here. Why throw that away? I mean, look at that. That's 4 ounces of meat there. Beautiful meat. And it cooks up tender. So, anyway, we'll do the next one here. This leg is a little bit shot up, so this It's no biggie. We'll go ahead and cut that shot up part off. But anyway, you see how we got that here? Here's the leg right here. Leg and thigh, the way it's attached. Okay? This is about as good an angle as you're going to get for this method. Take and bend that thigh back just like so. You can see that thigh bone come out right there? Then you can either take a scissors or a knife and cut that right off. And you end up with a beautiful piece of meat. Now don't forget, if you want to separate these before you cook them, just let me get rid of some of these feathers. Just go ahead and find your joint right in here. You can feel that joint right there. Just cut right down through there with your knife. You can bend it down. You can see the white in there. That's where the joint is. So you just go ahead and cut that loose, just like that. You don't end up with a big drumstick, but you end up with the drumstick and a thigh. And I'll tell you what, we did 3 birds in less than 15 minutes. And if you're in the field and want to do them, you can do them even quicker. Like I say, you can do a bird in a minute, maybe a minute and a half. It's not hard at all. We've gotten all the good meat off of that bird. If you want to save the wings, you can, but there isn't a lot of meat on the wings to save. But this is the best way to do it. Turkeys, to say, you do any bird this way. Ducks, geese, turkeys, anything. And you end up with most of the meat off of the bird. But and it's a good way to use the whole bird up. Anyway, that's cleaning birds. No big deal. It's easy to do once you get the hang of it. It takes practice, so anyway, that's it.